Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek content. I'm Michael 7 Michael, and today we've got in the studio, we got Dayveonne Bussey. We've got the one and only Phoenix Sparks. And our special guest, Nasid Gifted, the founder and creator of Khemkest. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing this evening, man?
Fantastic.
Awesome. So, we have a lot we want to talk about, and of course, pop culture stuff and some shows, some trailers. But let's jump into Khemkest first. First of all, Nasid, how did you just wake up one day and say, boom, I'm going to do Khemkest? Or was this over a period of time? And also tell the folks, what is Khemkest?
Okay, so Khemkest is a celebration of Black comics, Black animation, gaming, and comic book creators. Where we looked at the passion that people have for those three areas and looked at and explored those various STEM career opportunities that are available for, that I have a Afrofuturism graphic novel series called PB Soldier, and on my journey, lack of exposure and everything here in Newark, New Jersey. So I talked to the elders, who is the founder of ECBOC. ECBOC is East Coast Black Age of Comics in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and said, look, I'm looking to do something here in Newark. And he gave us the blessing, he gave us the green light, and now 8 years later, we are on an 8th annual, so that's pretty much how we pretty much got to this point right now with, the whole vision to bring forth Khemkest to a community that didn't have that type of exposure.
And now you're also in the educational field as well, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm a school administrator by day and comic book writer and festival director in the evenings.
Now, wow. Those are out there. We are live. We had a little bit of a glitch, but hopefully the internet plays with us nicely. All of you that are watching us live on Twitch, thank you for your support. If you're seeing this later on GeekCaster.com, thank you as well. And all our fans that are watching us on cable, we appreciate you as well. Comments, hit us up. You like the show, things that you would like us to talk about more, reactions from things we spoke about, and also people that you would like to see on the show. Definitely be a part of that journey. So Khemkest, I was able to go to, I think, 2 Khemkest, and I enjoyed them. I enjoyed it. It was a different energy. I really appreciated that. You feel something a little different, and we go to a lot of cons, a lot of them. So anytime you feel something a little different, at least, I don't know, Dayveonne, you had this same experience where you felt there was just a little different vibe, which was cool?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we try to add a community feel to what we do with the con. We want it to be almost like a family reunion where everyone, including all the guests, is very approachable. Mm-hmm. And we just want to make sure we create that family environment where it takes that village, that nurturing, because Khemkest is like a training grounds for the now generation, for that next generation of creators.
That is cool. So what are you most excited about, let's say, 5 years from now? Khemkest, what does that look like?
Well, 5 years from now, and this is a very sharp vision. So we're looking to be a training grounds for that next generation of creators, right? In animation and game design. So we have, especially here in Newark, New Jersey, we have Lionsgate being near. So within that next 5 years, we want to be able to work with the Lionsgate Studios to be able to provide, After Effects, the animation and animatics and everything else, and be able to have a workforce that's going to be able to partner and be able to have those different job opportunities for that studio that's coming here into our neighborhood. Because one of the things that will happen is the studio will be here, but the opportunities won't be available to the individuals that's living in the community. So we want to be able to have, provide that training ground so we can, train up the next that next workforce.
Now, is that something that is happened through Lionsgate? They're going to have something in Jersey?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yep. Right in Newark, New Jersey, South Ward.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Phoenix, you have not been to Camp. Now, of course, a lot of people don't realize Phoenix is on the other side of the country. But we got to get you to Khemkest.
Yes.
So here it is. Nasid, pitch. Pitch Khemkest to someone in our crew that has not been there. What would you say to get Phoenix out to Khemkest?
So Phoenix, if you're interested in animation, gaming, comic book creation, this is the place for you. We created the ultimate Afrofuturism experience that you need to come to, and that Afrofuturism experience is called Khemkest. This year we have the Futures Black Fashion Show. We have a number of comic and animation creators. We got a film festival attached to this whole thing, and the other piece that we've added is something for the whole family. So from 0 to 99, we got something for you. We even have a STEM lab where we're doing 3D printing, slime making, as well as a number of other STEM activities for young people. But you can definitely support the vendors. You can definitely be a part of the panels and workshops. And then, like I said, we got Fashion Week going on this week. We have our own fashion show that's going on called The Futures Black. So all of those things are definitely reasons that you should stop through and be a part of this greatness that we're going to be showcasing throughout the weekend.
That was a solid pitch. You had me at ultimate.
Yeah, man, the ultimate Afrofuturism experience. We want to be able to paint that lens. I think about the COVID babies, right? You think about those COVID babies. So all those babies who just been created in 2020 and during that whole pandemic and everything, what are they gonna be doing in the next 20 years when they turn 20 years old in 2040? Like, what job opportunities are gonna be available for them? That's what Khemkest is trying to be able to be the training grounds for, is to train up that next generation of creators and innovators, and that's what's happening in our space.
That sounds good.
Gotta get people excited, gotta get them exposed, you gotta do all that. Some people got doctors that live next door. We don't have game creators, we don't have people that create animation that's living next door to us. So, unless you're in Hollywood, So I'm not sure if you're in Hollywood there, Phoenix, but if you are, you probably do have some of those individuals right next door to you.
I'm actually based in Pennsylvania, but I travel to the West Coast often. So It's kind of like I'm a little bit bi-coastal at this point, I'd say.
Yeah, different projects and stuff. That's good.
Exactly. You got it. It's fun.
So, as far as the internet, as we do a little bit of a transition, all the rage and the Endor. Star Wars is now putting out a new series called Endor. Did any of you guys see the trailer? And if you did, what did you think?
We never established with that character fully, so it was.
You mean the planet?
It had to be done. Huh?
You mean the planet? Endor is the whole planet.
Yeah,
the
they
whole
never.
planet.
Oh.
The Ewoks and everybody else is in Endor? You talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We haven't really established the whole story between for that planet, so it's better for that to basically put it in perspective so we can get an understanding more about Endor.
Yeah,
So is it? So let me, Michael. Is it prequel or is it like after? Is it after? Return of the Jedi.
my understanding, this is before that. And it's interesting. In a way, it's almost playing it safe, because if you go before, you do have all these, these set stages that you have to keep, building towards. So I guess it keeps the writers kind of in lock, you know where we're gonna end up. So you just got to imagine how we got there, and we saw that with Rogue One, which was interesting. Yeah. The end of Rogue One was just the last 5 minutes were just like, as a fan, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting. As a Star Wars fan, it's not all about the lightsabers and the laser guns. It's the political unrest, right? Yeah. And you see this if you go back to the ancients. I mean, if you even the story of Horus, right? You have the political and this one fighting that one, and the whole quest for power. So it goes so deep in every folklore, every religion, every So I think that's the part that makes Star Wars really special, is the political and the philosophical, almost religious, the wizards, right? So, but what I get from this trailer, it's really going deep into the politics. How did the Republic break apart? At least I think that's where they're going with it. I don't know if there's more information out. I probably should Google that, but that's what I got from it. Nasita, you a Star Wars fan?
Yes, I actually am a Star Wars fan. Of course, growing, not being born in the 80s, but growing up in the 80s, definitely watching all of the Star Wars, and then how they reinvigorated the series with all of the prequels, and now adding on to this whole dynasty with Rogue One, what was it, Solo, and it's another one that they came out
Mandalorian.
With. Yeah, and the Mandalorian and all of those different.
Which has a new season coming out. I saw the trailer, but okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Definitely from the original. I've definitely been a fan from the original, and then I was wondering how they was going to top, what they originally came out with. But knowing that George Lucas actually wrote the prequel prior to the original series and everything, and then they continue that legacy, and then like you said with Rogue One, that whole last 5 minutes, man, that thing was powerful. That was powerful.
Out of everything they tried to do, that was the most powerful 5 minutes, I think. Ever. I mean, they had their moments with Mandalorian, which were cool, and they had a lot of what do they call it? Like red herrings? Is that what they call it when they try to trick the fans?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. Every time I think they're going to totally flop, they're like, no, it's not too bad. But a lot of fans did not like the last trilogy. It's like universally, fans were like, no. So there's been rumors that they're going to kind of take that out of the canon, like pretend it never happened. And there's a push and pull with Kathleen Kennedy, the president, that's dealing with everything having to do with Star Wars. I hear rumors that they're kicking her out. She wanted to get rid of a lot of the things that George Lucas wanted in there, or things that were kind of canon. And we're seeing possibly through Favreau that they want to lean on George Lucas a lot more and make sure that the future projects have a lot more of George in there. So have any of you heard of any of those things, and what do you think about it?
I haven't, but I really think it needs to focus more on the creation that George Lucas created. So he's the creator. He should have say so. There should be telling the story the way he basically visioned Star Wars.
I mean, I think he definitely, that was his brainchild, I mean, he sacrificed. I mean, if anyone ever watched the origin of how he even, kind of pitched Star Wars and how he had to put his own money up and all of this stuff and the deals that he had to cut just because nobody believed in the project. No one believed in the project. And now it's a $1 billion business. And then he actually sold it to Disney I was going to say Disney Marvel, it was just Disney for $7 billion, and made his money 100-fold off of what he started, but held on to that franchise for 30 years and then kind of just kept building it up, with the storyline. So I'm pretty sure he envisioned what the beginning, the before, the prequel, and then the aftermath would look like, but they're gonna have to pay top dollar, and that's one thing Disney will do. They will pay top dollar for the talent, So, and I think it definitely should be phenomenal because once he lays out the outline, they're going to get their writers in there and then kind of polish it up and do the Disney magic to it and everything and make it something super phenomenal.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think there's about 7 projects in the works.
Well, for
Star Wars, yeah. And Keanu Reeves is supposed to play. One of the villains, one of the Sith lords.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's. Keanu. Man, I'm curious to see, and I would like to see him just acting wise, throw everybody off like oh, you didn't think I was gonna play it this way, because he could do that. Like he's, So I'm excited about that. And who else supposed to be in Star Wars? I can't remember. There's a couple other people, but bigger story. There's a bunch of people that have been signed off. I think I took a picture of it too. To do, speaking of Disney owning everything, Marvel. There's a bunch of actors that just signed on to do future Marvel movies. Did you guys hear anything about that?
Only thing we heard was originally it was a fake thing that they basically said about the Fantastic Four. They were saying that it was supposed to be Henry Cavill as Dr. Doom, Reed Richards as the guy from, I forgot, The Office, and John Boyega is supposed to be Tony Storm, but we found out that was fake.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the listing of the cast that Marvel has hired, that is accurate. So we got John Boyega, Denzel Washington.
Yes, that's the one I heard. Yes.
And some other people, but they're unknown characters.
Okay. Well, he's gonna kill it. Whatever he gets his hands on, I can't.
It's two. Well, rumor has it's 2 characters that people are looking at Denzel right now.
What is the gentleman? Oh, I always forget his name, but he's everywhere now, and I love. He's been.
Some of the guy that was in The Boys as the person that runs.
Yes.
Yeah, he's also Cat.
What is his name? And I met him too, so I feel bad.
It's hard to pronounce his name. I'm sorry.
Esposito?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But this is the rumor with Denzel. It's between Blue Marvel or
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
He is like one of my favorite actors.
I'll tell you what the rumor mill with that is. The rumor mill is it's a strong possibility, but take it with a grain of salt, audience.
Listen, I heard the rumor. Let's see if you heard the same rumor.
That he's supposed to be playing Professor X.
That's
Charles
what I heard.
Xavier.
Yeah. The first thing I heard that he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So if they actually make that a reality, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And Denzel, they said Blue Marvel, but there's other rumors going around that he may be playing Magneto.
That would be interesting. Well, you know what? Again, did you see how Marvel, Disney buying Marvel as well as Star Wars made so much sense because both of those, especially Marvel, but both of those properties lend themselves to such dark and deep concepts and stories that you can go on forever because we live in a world with, you watch the news between the natural disasters, the political fumbles, and all these other things. So, to have two men of color play two characters that have been treated terrible. Basically, when you look at the X-Men, it's the African-American experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's just...
Because my only thing is with Magneto, it's like you're assuming the Holocaust aspect of how he became Magneto.
Well, they added that after the fact, but I'm just saying that would, in general, when you look at a lot of the scenes, even when they first did the theatrical experience of the X-Men, if you take out that beginning of the Holocaust and just watched it, it's like, oh, you can't work here because you're filling the space. Mutant? Oh, you can't work here because you're black. You can't do this because it just fits. A lot of it actually, when they originally were doing it, a lot of the inspiration was, just people of color in America that experience, and they just kept going with it. It almost seemed like a learning tool in a way to, kind of teach kids when you're reading these comics, don't discriminate, don't da-da-da-da-da, So, but yeah, they added that Holocaust stuff after the fact. I get it,
But yeah,
I think that would be really good.
That's the rumor mill, but they could do that with Blue Marble. Now, John Boyega is a question mark. Who can he play?
Yeah, even besides the changing, the race of a character, that's just, whatever. But just as far as, like every actor has a style. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I could see Denzel doing Magneto because that fits in the Denzel style, if that makes sense.
Right.
But John, I don't know. I don't know who he would play.
Right. Because it's like, I don't want to see him as Johnny Storm because...
I don't see him as a Johnny Storm.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean he can't pull it off. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know until you get that opportunity and you're like, oh, I didn't know this person could... Because that's the other side too. Like, we talked about on other shows how some actors are playing the same thing. It's like the same one note of a character. Is it that they could only do that? Or is it because their agent kind of like, let's play it safe because we know this is what you can do? Or do they get typecast? And that's the only... Right. That's why I love character actors. Esposito, Joaquin Phoenix. There's a couple people... And a couple old school cats where they're just... Danny DeVito. He could play so many different things.
Matter of fact, he did a good job as Penguin in that version.
He did a great job of what he was given. That was great. Phoenix, when I see, do you guys have any particular actors that should be in the Star Wars or Marvel universe that you would love to see? Just jump in and see, can they do it? Can they pull it off?
Trying to think, like, who would I like to see? Nobody jumping out at me right now as far as... I got to think of a particular brand, and then I could be like, okay. Because Marvel Universe is so huge that...
yeah, it's crazy.
If I narrow my focus... let's see, like, who would I like to see play Cable? Somebody play Cable. Who would that be? I think Idris Elba playing Cable, even though he played in, Thor or whatever. But But I could see Idris Elba doing Cable. I mean, not Cable. Bishop. I meant to say.
Oh, Bishop. Okay.
I meant to say Bishop.
I'm
I
sorry.
could see
I
him doing
smiled so
Bishop.
big because I could see John playing Cable.
Yeah.
I could see
could
John
John
Boyega playing
Cable.
Cable. That would be
Who?
dope.
Who?
John Boyega playing Cable.
I like.
Because
I
no one
like-
would expect it. I think that would be
I
hot.
like Cable is a really good character that
Yeah, but
you know,
John Boyega playing Cable, like
You see? But it made you think like,
like
wait a
No.
minute.
who would we have play Mr. Sinister? Like
wow.
Wow.
I mean that's just an X-Men. I'm trying to think of some of the other
This
you know
Mephisto supposed to be brought into the MCU. Once the X-Men movie comes out, Sinister.
somebody to actually play Apocalypse that you know,
Yeah, because what's his
Wow.
name is playing Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac is playing Moon Knight. So that's out. What other villains do they have that, or heroes?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like low key heroes that nobody ever thought of, or even X-Men characters that they really didn't introduce in the Fox version of X-Men.
Mhm.
See, I want to say this: Marvel has so much mutant or people with enhanced abilities and stuff like that in their product
Mhm.
that it takes a while for you to actually sit down and realize which actor fits who. You even got Superman characters that's in the Marvel universe. So it's a lot. Even actors, it's hard to basically sit back and be like, because you got to go through every single actor. Like with DC, it's not that hard because you just go by, like, certain characters stand out the most.
Yeah.
But with Marvel, it's just like a huge. Think of a huge orbit, and it gravitates to a huge universe compared to a DC type character.
And
I
you
mean,
know what?
You know who I would
And-
like to see
go
on the
ahead,
big
yeah.
screen that didn't get an opportunity to. I mean, of course they did. They were on the screen, but they weren't on a big screen.
Right.
If Marvel did the Defenders, or the cast members from the Defenders in a Marvel movie, like in a movie, where you got Daredevil, you got Luke Cage, you got Jessica.
Yeah.
All of them, Iron Fist, and everybody else in that whole little cast.
Hey, hold that thought, Nasid. Hold that. So we're gonna do two parts to this. If you're watching us live on Twitch, just sit back, relax, get a drink, make some popcorn, because we're gonna keep talking. If you're watching this on IG, or if you're watching us on cable, you're gonna have to look for the other part two of this, all right? So thank you so much. You're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture. And we're going to stop in a few seconds, and then we're gonna keep going for part two. Thank you very much for supporting. Keep watching. We'll keep talking. You're watching GEEKCASTER. And letting the time go, and a 1 and a 2, and I'm pressing the button of 3. We're out of here.